So Zimbabwe is actually in a very good position to assist SADC in terms of harmonization of policies. As you recall, I think traditionally your electricity costs in the country have been very low, but during I think in the last 3 years or so, the tariffs have actually been increased to make them more economic, which then allows investors to come in and actually provide power at economic levels. If you compare Zimbabwean tariffs maybe to the regional tariffs, where, like for example in Zambia, our tariffs are actually more economic and more, compared to Zambia as an example. If one was to take maybe a study of all the SADC tariffs, I think there's a need to actually harmonize those tariffs and attract investment throughout SADC because of tariffs that are economic and viable. One of the things that Zimbabwe has done well is the net metering project, where you are allowed to export your power to the grid. Unfortunately, it's not quite popular within the region, mainly because of the shortage of power. When you look at net metering, you can only export when the grid is available. So because our grid is mostly unavailable, it's difficult for net metering to work very well. So with that in mind, I think it's important for the SADC region to strengthen its grid. Regionally, we need to have a stronger grid that is able to sustain the sort of importation of power from residents who have got excess power, or even commercial and industrial customers who have got excess power. We need to encourage storage, like things like lithium batteries. I think our region is in a very unique position. If you look at the minerals that are required to make lithium batteries, you find that in the region, Zambia has got the copper, Zimbabwe has got the lithium, South Africa has got some of the other minerals like your zinc, your magnesium, things that are required to make batteries. So I think if there's a coordination of policies, we could actually find ourselves in a very unique position where we are actually manufacturing lithium batteries. You can imagine, I think going to Zambia, it's about 500 kilometers. Going to South Africa, it's the same. So regionally, Zimbabwe remains in a central position to actually drive the energy revolution within the region. When we look at lithium batteries, we then look also at solar panels. We don't necessarily need to start with the manufacture of these things. We can actually start by assembly. Most of these countries that are successful in terms of energy sector, they started maybe by doing one thing, which was assembly, simply taking battery cells, putting them together, and then shipping them into markets. So one of the things that needs to be encouraged, I think, is the investment into renewable energy by our pension funds within the region. So you find that our pension fund industry within the region is so big, and has got access to funds that are more long-term. Most renewable energy projects, especially the solar farms, tend to require long-term capital, and so I think there's need to actually encourage and put in place structures that allow pension funds to invest in our renewable energy sector. One of the things that can be used as an instrument is a green bond, for example. So you find that if it was a SADC regional energy, sort of green energy bond, which is in US dollars, it then allows investment in solar energy projects across the region. And using the SADC power pool, power can be sort of sold through that platform, and a lot that can then be done in terms of generating energy for the region.